Okay, I wanted to show you guys. I just got done making myself a breakfast burrito. Not burrito. Yeah, and Nana.
I'm giving on the whole thing.
Okay, Sissy's peeling it for you. There you go.
Thank you. Here you go, Mama.
What do you say?
Nana.
What do you say, Adam?
Nana.
No, what do you say to Sissy?
Tango.
Good girl. Okay, back to what I was saying now that everyone has a snack. So last time I made this, I got a lot of questions about it, a lot of questions. And it's actually super, super simple. So I didn't even thaw out my chicken all the way. This is literally just chicken from the freezer that I just pulled out. I pulled it out last night, so it's still kind of hard. It's probably about 5 to 6 large breasts. I would say it's like 5 pounds or so. And the reason I'm doing it like this, because last time I think I only used 2 to 3 pounds, but I want to have leftovers. So I'm sticking the entire thing, all 5 to 6 pounds of it, however much it is, in my crock pot. This is an Instant Pot, and I have it on the low setting. So my low setting is 7 hours, but you could actually alter this for however you want. If I want to do 8 hours, I totally can. I mean, it's really, you can do it however you want. It's 10:30 right now. I plan to be eating about 6:15, so I will leave 7 hours works fine, because 7 hours will be 5:30, and I'll have enough time to take it out, shred it, and put it in my chicken enchiladas. So this is a sauce. This is literally all I do. This is a sauce I use. It's the Hill Country Fare from H-E-B. Enchilada sauce mild, but it's the green chile kind. So you can do salsa verde. I mean, you can really do any green salsa you want, but you want to make sure it's mild, unless you like a lot of spice. Andres likes a lot of spice, but we do not. So I use the mild kind. I would not recommend like actual green salsa, and I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. So I'm gonna dump in 1 can and another can, and for how much chicken I have, honestly I could probably do 3 cans, but I'm gonna start it like this. The sauce is really easy to kind of mix up. I think this is fine for right now, and these are just 15-ounce cans. So I'm gonna dump that in there. I don't put anything else, nothing else. You could use ranch seasoning. I've seen that works pretty well. You could put crema in here if you wanted to make it more of a creamy, like sour. You could do sour cream. You could do cream cheese if you're trying to make it a little bit more fattening, but I don't. I just put literally the green chile enchilada sauce over my chicken and let it cook. I will not touch it until it's ready to come out. Now this is the kind of salsa that I would not recommend. This is the like green Mexican salsa that you would use for like chips and salsa. Yes, Mama, we hear you have a nana. I wouldn't use this because it's too spicy, but this would be a good alternative if you, yes, we see a nana, you like a lot of spice. This would give a similar flavor, just a little bit more on the spicy side. And Andres likes this for his, to top on things. I haven't tried it with something like this, like a guacamole salsa. I think it would give it a different taste. This is very mild, but it still gives it like a Mexican food type taste. So yeah, that's gonna sit there for the next 7 hours. I'll show you guys when it's done. Okay, I still have about 17 minutes left. So this has been on for 6 hours and 43 minutes. Literally have not touched it or anything. This is what it looks like when it's open. Lots of condensation on the crock pot. Just shake that off. A little extra fluid's not going to hurt anybody. That's what it looks like. Big old thing of mush. But at this point, it should be completely shreddable, like, which it feels like it is. Just, it's like falling apart. So what I'm going to do, I mean, literally, like, I could, if I probably just poke it enough, I could probably shred it in here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out all the chicken, put it in a bowl so I can shred it a little bit better, and then I'm going to dump it back in. Okay, I shredded it up and I just dumped it right back into the same sauce. And you can see once you shred it up, the sauce doesn't seem as liquidy, but it's okay. You want it to be pretty liquidy. You don't want your chicken to be just like dry. For one, it keeps your enchiladas moist, but for two, it adds more flavor, I feel like. You don't necessarily, like if you have chicken that isn't as pumped with water as mine was, you won't yield as much extra juice, but as long as you have some extra juice, it should be fine. I'm trying to multitask making my Mexican rice cauliflower over there, so that's the sizzling you hear in the background. But I'm gonna let this simmer for like 2 minutes in the crock pot with the lid off of it, just for the chicken that was shredded to kind of get saturated with the juice. And if you watched the full, I know I fast forwarded, but of the shredding, it literally like almost shreds itself. It's insane because it was cooking and it came pretty much frozen in here. So you definitely don't have to prep this too much in advance as far as pulling out meat and stuff. You could use frozen chicken and throw it in the crock pot before you go to work. And it's very simple to put together when you get home. Okay, so for my tools to use this, I am using a Wilson pan. This is a 13 by 9. Like a lasagna pan is what I would call it. I don't know what, a casserole pan actually. But I'm just going to spray it with a little bit of spray. This is the canola oil cooking spray from Costco. Spray it a little bit just to make sure your tortillas don't stick. Tortillas. I'm using corn tortillas, just a basic yellow corn tortilla. You could use whatever you have on hand, and I went ahead and cut mine in half. I find it easier for them to lay out and to make sure they get in all of the creases here. So this is exactly what I do. Exactly. I will take half moon and line them out on the outside, and then just kind of fill in all the gaps as much as you can. There may be a better way to do this, as far as like you could take, instead of doing half moon, you could do 2 whole tortillas. I don't really like to overlap tortillas as much as possible because you're already going to have a lot of layers of tortilla. You really don't need more than just a thin layer. So the next time I will start on this side to make sure eventually all these cracks get covered somewhere in the line. So what I do is I do tortilla, and then I have my chicken out of my crock pot right here. I just pulled it out of the actual thing, and I'm going to scoot it as close to my container as I can because the juice will get you. And then I just take the chicken. I try not to leak. Hold on, let me switch hands. I don't know why I wasn't filming with my left hand to begin with. I'm right-handed. So I'll just take some chicken and kind of scatter it around. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to cover every single bit of layer. It just is the majority of it comes with chicken. Because if I don't get it this layer, if you don't get a bite of chicken this layer, it'll end up being like 4 or 5 layers deep. So that is one. Now I'm going to take my Kirkland mozzarella cheese. You can use any type of cheese you want. If you don't like mozzarella, you can use Colby, cheddar, whatever you want. And I just take a heaping handful of that and start to spread it. And this is kind of the glue that holds all of the layers together, and why you have to stick it in the oven, because technically all of these layers are already cooked. You don't have to stick it in the oven, but in order to make it like an enchilada pie, you want a layer to make sure everything is cooked together. So, and I'm just going to repeat this. So I'm gonna do this until it's all the way to the top. Okay, voila, we are done. Hi. I ended up doing 5 layers, I believe, and I ended up using all of my chicken, probably about 20 tortillas maybe, and like, I don't know, a pound or so, maybe not quite a pound of mozzarella cheese. And so like I said, the reason that I'm putting it in the oven is to bake all the layers of cheese and kind of combine everything. And then I'll broil it. I'll put it in the oven for about 20 minutes. I'll broil it for 5 just to char up the cheese on the top. I'll show you guys when I'm done. The reason I leave the juice in it as well is because, and I try and like I missed that little piece of corn tortilla and a piece right here. Guarantee you that'll be dry. And over there, dry when it comes out, because the juice keeps everything else moist and it kind of dries it out a little bit while it's in the oven. So I leave it uncovered just to kind of melt and combine everything for, like I said, about 20 minutes. And that is how you make my salsa verde chicken verde salsa chicken enchilada pie. I don't know if that makes sense, but that is the recipe that I kind of created myself and how I've done it. I used to do regular enchiladas like this with just cheese, so you could substitute beef for the chicken. You could do regular cheese. You could do it with any pork, whatever, shrimp, whatever really you want. The idea is the same. You can change up the cheese. You can change up the tortillas if you want to do flour. You can. We just do it with corn, very traditional, with the salsa chicken and the mozzarella cheese. Like I said earlier, in the actual this, you could do crema mexicana. You could also do sour cream. You could do like sour cream enchiladas, cream cheese, just to make it more creamy. This is a little bit less fattening, still fattening with the cheese, but a little less fattening than that. If you were doing keto, you could totally layer this with zucchini instead of corn tortillas, and the rest of it would be totally good. So anyway, I'm gonna pop this in the oven. I'll show you guys when I plate it up for dinner. This is what it looks like. Obviously we've already cut into it, but you can see after, I mean, even pulling the things up, everything thickened up, the sauce thickened up nicely. It's not runny, but it's still nice and juicy and creamy. You don't have to broil it as much, but we like the cheese charred. That's what it looks like on the inside, and on the plate. Looks scrumptious. We're gonna dig in. So hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me make this salsa verde chicken enchilada pie. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.